Hi guys, my name is Emily. Welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesdays were created by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey and are currently hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. Links to everything is in the description box down below. Today is May 30th and today we're talking about fandoms that we're no longer a part of. For me, this is also going to be fandoms I wish I was more involved in. I'm going to start by actually answering the question and talk about some fandoms that I am no longer involved in, and that is the Twilight fandom. So when these first came out, when I was in high school, I really enjoyed them. I read them multiple times. I liked chatting about them with people. I wasn't a twihard. I wasn't writing fan fiction. I sort of lost interest after the movies came out, but there was a time where I was invested in this series enough to read like blog posts about when the next book was coming out and fan theories and stuff like that. Reading them again not so long ago, I have continued to think through the relationships and the things that are happening in here, and it's not a healthy relationship. It's not good. You don't want to encourage young people to aspire to abusive relationships. Women should be allowed to drive their own cars. So many things are not okay in here. So this is a fandom that I am no longer a part of. The next book I have here is a fandom that I wish I was a part of, and that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. There are things that frustrate me about this series, and there are things that I find fascinating about this series, and I think being involved in the online community would probably help my enjoyment of the series more, if for no other reason than to just look at how fans are queering characters and playing with narratives and playing with canon elements, which is always fun. The next book I have here is, again, a book that I've read recently, relatively recently, that I think would be fun to be a part of the fandom, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Now, I do not follow Rothfuss religiously on any platforms, but because of the delay in the end of this series, I can only imagine the amount of fan fiction out there playing with these characters. Being involved in this fandom would make it more bearable. One of the most fun things about the Harry Potter series for me, reading them as they came out, was reading speculative fan fiction, reading about what people were imagining for the conclusion of the series. The last two books I have here are books where I was involved in the fandom quite heavily at one point, but stopped because I ran out of time, and they are books that I keep meaning to get back into the online communities around. The first one being the Tamora Pierce fandom. One of my good friends keeps pointing out fantastic Tamora Pierce fan fiction that plays with all of these characters, that picks up on a lot of the narratives that Tamora Pierce has promised. Because Tamora Pierce keeps promising us things and then she never follows through on them. So the fandom is picking up and doing that in fan fiction. So I was, a long time ago, involved in the Tamora Pierce fandom. I read some fan fiction. I wrote some fan fiction in the Tamora Pierce universe, like for, I wrote fan fiction for the wolves. They are wolves that are quite sentient because Dane has polluted them with her magic. And I wrote fan fiction about what Brokefang and his pack was up to, because I am an oddball, apparently. Like, out of all the characters, out of all the things to write fan fiction on, it was the wolves. The last book I have here is really the only true fandom that I have ever been a part of, and I am really not up to date on this anymore, and that is the Harry Potter fandom. So I used to read so much Harry Potter fan fiction. I read Drarry / fan fiction, I read Marauders era fan fiction, I read speculative fan fiction on the ending. Up until 2007, when the final book came out, I was so active in the online community. The fan art, I spent hours looking at fan art, I made fan art, I have some really terrible comics, Harry Potter comics, playing with the characters. Compared to my normal amount of involvement, I was so involved in the Harry Potter fan world. And then the 7th book came out and I stopped. The 7th book also came out when I was in high school. It was in the later years of high school, so I was a lot busier. I didn't have as much time to dick around on the internet for hours. So I haven't been involved in anything really post 2007. It's such an active fan community still now. Like, people are still playing with these characters. People are queering these characters. The Harry Potter fandom is one that I was involved in, that I'm not really involved in, but I would like to be involved in. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on fandoms in the comments down below. What is a fandom that you are a part of currently? What is a fandom that you've grown out of? Let's chat about fandoms. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.